Hello and welcome to another Civil Engine Extra Credit video. In this one, we're going to focus exclusively on water and all the different ways you can place water in your scene. So we will start with the asset method, where you go to Library Assets, go to Other, and you see this water cube. You simply take that and place it in your scene. You'll see that it's very small, and so we can make it much bigger. And then we can position it. And then we can adjust the scale to make sure it fits our scene. Something like that. And one thing about the water cube, it doesn't look that great on its own, but when you have something behind it, it does start to look a lot better. You can see here, we can see this bridge pier, and it just looks really nice behind the water. So that's the first option. It's very fast, but it's not always ideal because it's not customizable. You can't switch any other texture. This is the one that you're living with. All right, the next one is to use a dynamic asset. You could use any of these shapes. The slab is probably the easiest, and you simply place it into your scene. You do the same process as we did with the water cube, where you want to move it into place and scale it. And then you can go to select the texture that you want. And here you do have some more options. So if we scroll down to water, you can see we've got water 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to scale it up, and then we'll go back to this. All right, so I've scaled it up. We've got it set to water 3, which is the default texture for the static water cube asset. But you can also use water 2 or water 1. So you have more options. Water 3 is going to look the best in my opinion, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. You do have all of those options. All right, the next option is to simply use the texturing system to place water. So in this scenario, I would bring a plane in that would fit in here, kind of like we did with the dynamic slab. I don't have that here, but I can show it using this surface. So you just want to find the thumbnail for water, and you click on the surface, and then it's going to show up like that. So we have water 1, water 2, and then this is a known issue, but water 3 isn't scaled correctly. And so it just kind of looks like a piece of glass. So you're a little bit more limited there. But if you were in a scenario where, let's say you had a river that was kind of turning and meandering, and you had a surface on top of that in your base model, you could just paint one of these textures on it and be good to go. In my opinion, the other methods that I've already shown look better, but this is an option. All right, the next method is to use the path system. You're going to click on paths, go to other, and then you'll see here we have water. And so this might work better for the meandering river situation. You can make it go along your river. This one's straight, but I'll give it a little bit of curve just for reference. You can see here we are pretty flat, and so we're going to need to bring those nodes up, and then we also need to adjust the width. So let's make this 50. That's not enough. Let's make this 150. There we go. So let's bring these nodes up. All right, and you'll see here this doesn't look very realistic, and the biggest reason is because you need to click on this other tab, and you want to turn on high quality water. We do have that warning that this may add additional tax on your hardware, and you can see here this looks pretty realistic, and you can also adjust the texture. So if you make it smaller, it goes smaller like that, and if you make it bigger, it goes bigger. The one challenge of this is you'll see there are some lines in there. And so up close, it might look just a little bit off, but from a distance, this looks really nice, and it's a really good option, again, for meandering rivers. We have lake by default, but you can also change it to river, which is kind of cool. We've got the water flowing downstream, and then we've got ocean, which really starts waving up and down. So feel free to check out that option for water as well. All right, and our final option is the areas tool. And so you can go here and click other, and you'll see here we have water, and then it's just a matter of placing those points. All right, so we've placed the points for our water area coverage, and then we can make adjustments there. The same as we did before, we can go here and we can turn on high quality water. And then we can adjust between lake, river, or ocean. You can also adjust the scale as you need to. The one note about using the area tool is when it connects those nodes together, it does create a seam. And so if you want to avoid that completely, but you do want to use the area system, what you can do is do the same thing as before, but just create one big triangle. And you can see here it's not quite big enough, and so we just need to push this way out into the distance, all these edges. We'll turn off the other one that we did. And so now we've got the same options as before, but we just don't have the seam like we did with the other one, although we do have the edges going off over on the side. But we can do the same thing where we can make it high quality, we can adjust the scale and so on, and we won't have the seams if you just make it one single triangle. So that's an option as well. All right, so that wraps it up. There are a number of ways to use water in your civil engine scene. I recommend you test them all out and find which one works best for your own project. This is Sam, and I will see you in the next extra credit video.